Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to day 2, Branding Bootcamp. This week we are focusing on the Kamala Code. My definition of the Kamala Code is someone who is powerful, poised, has great promotion and presence, and we want to use the Madam Vice President, Kamala Harris, as a basis and foundation for how women entrepreneurs can really get into the marketplace and show up, show out, and shine, and really be the leaders that we're called to be. As we're talking about leaders, I do want to open tonight's session and time together with just a bit of my take on what a leader is. I think that on the other side of the screen, there are lots of leaders waiting to be born, waiting to share their gifts and talents with the world. I think there are a lot of us, especially considering the year we had, 2020, and COVID and the pandemic. I think there are a lot of us who are saying, now is my time. Now I'm ready to show up. Now I am the one who can provide my products and services in such a way to where I make an impact in my community, in my family, in my life, and be a leader and a beacon of positivity for others. We've had enough of negativity. We've had enough of sickness. We've had enough of death. Now it's time to really get on the other side of that and show your audience what leadership is all about. Leadership to me is about being a great people person, being someone who can beat the odds. I think a leader beats the odds. Here's one of my favorite quotes by Martin Luther King, and he says, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. And what does that mean for us today, 2021, after everything that has happened? I think that means we don't even consider that there was a box. We don't even consider that we need to be outside of the box. We make our own rules. We understand that the rules can be broken, and we make them up along the way. And we make them up so much so that others can follow us. We're not doing crazy things, right? We're not putting anyone's lives in danger. We're not being unethical, none of those things. However, we are understanding that we are the masters of our own fate. We write our own rules. We make our way along the way. And that means being very creative. That means doing things in unconventional ways. For me, I've learned through 2020 that you can be unconventional and make it. You can be outside of the norm and make it. You can be abnormal and make it. You can be less than average and make it. You can define for you what success means. And we've heard that before, but I think now we understand that we absolutely have the pen in our hand, and we can define what our existence is like for us. We define what life is like for us. Time is of the essence. Days are numbered. We don't have a lot of time to really get this together. So now is the time to really get it together. I think leaders are being called out of their hiding places right now. I think leaders are being pushed into the forefront, whether they like it or not because someone is literally pushing them, but because you feel that urging. I think there are a lot of us who feel the urging to really answer the call, to come forward, to stand up, to say, hey, I've got a solution. I think leaders are solution oriented and solution providers. So I just wanted to open our time together with that foundation of leadership, knowing that you are the one, you are the answer, you are the reason that someone gets up in the morning and says, I can do that. If she did it, I can do it. All right, so what I want to talk about tonight is social media, digital marketing, and I'm going to drill into 17 tips for you to create magic on your social media, whether that be Facebook. Now, I'm not going to talk about everything. Here are the platforms that I am going to talk about tonight: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Okay, I'm not going to cover. There are tons of social media platforms, right? I, for instance, love Snapchat, but I use Snapchat just as a brain dump. You know what I mean? I have fun there. I play a little bit on TikTok, but this is just not anything I use for business. I know some people use it for business and are finding success there. We will not talk about TikTok tonight. We will not talk about Snapchat tonight, although I know that for business, those two platforms are changing and becoming more business friendly, more entrepreneur friendly. All right, so I do want to share with you tonight a presentation to help make our time tonight a little bit more fun. So here and here. How are you tonight? If you have questions, okay, get your questions in line. This is a two-way street, all right? I need to know that you are there, so commenting is welcomed. Just so you know, I am also streaming. I am also streaming on YouTube tonight, which I think is pretty fun. So instead of, you know, doing the live stream here, then downloading the live stream, then editing and uploading to YouTube, I'm going to trust my own broadcasting skill set and simulcast to Facebook here and to YouTube at the same time. So hi YouTube audience, hi Facebook audience. So here we go, 17 tips for creating magic in your social media. Now, you have to be on Facebook. There is no way you can be in business today without being on Facebook. This is why 2.8 billion monthly users are on Facebook. And that means that, oh, excuse my little typo here, 1.84 billion daily on Facebook alone, just on Facebook. All right, so here are my tips for Facebook. Number one, you have to pay, and that's for all platforms. You have to pay to play in order to have any type of traction on social media. So you do have to buy Facebook ads, experiment with your ads, use memes, use a picture without any text, use video, short videos, use a long video, experiment with the type of content that you're using on Facebook, and experiment with your audience, validate your audience. That means, you know, maybe your audience really enjoys video versus a meme. Maybe your audience really enjoys seeing you instead of a stock image. You need to really understand your audience, especially when it comes to Facebook, because, you know, we used to have, I think, 3 to 4 seconds to capture attention. I really believe now it's about 1 to 2 seconds. Everyone's scrolling on social media. So you have to imagine that if your picture, image, or video isn't making an impact in a second or two, you're lost in the crowd. No one ever sees your ad. So validate your audience, experiment with your Facebook ads, and retarget using custom audiences. Now, I love this. We're not drilling into Facebook. You know, maybe during the boot camp, I will be here throughout May. Maybe I will devote a few days to do hands-on Facebook ads inside of the Facebook platform. If you want to see something like that, let me know. But using custom audiences in Facebook is a lifesaver. So basically, you have an audience that you are already using for your ads, right? So let's just say I'm using an audience that's based in Los Angeles, 25 miles radius, right? I can also retarget to an audience that's similar to Los Angeles audience, 25 miles. You have to know your numbers inside of Facebook. You have to know your engagement and your insights. You really need to drill into your data. Okay, you really need to drill into your analytics and see what type of engagement you've had before on your ads. Again, you have to pay for ads in Facebook. There is no way around it. And then explore link retargeting. We have all had experience with this. This is where you click on a website and say you're on HBO, and then you come back to, or you go to another website. Let's say you go to Amazon. Yes, you'll begin to see HBO ads, or whatever website you were on, you'll begin to see those ads throughout your entire online journey until you say stop it. So that's on your phone, that's on your desktop, that's on your tablet. That is called retargeting, and it's genius. I love it. You have to really be, again, specific about your data. You have to know your analytics. You have to know what your audience likes and where they have been. You have to know their journey. Sorry, there is no privacy, so forget that. We know where you have been. We know what type of websites you're clicking on. If you are a marketer, you must know your data. So, and if you're a business owner and you're working with someone who is in marketing and they're working on your social media, they have to know the data. They have to know the analytics. So those are my tips for Facebook. We're going to keep this moving because I don't want to take up all of your evening. So now we're going to get to Instagram. Again, these are very high level tips, but they are the most important tips. These are, institute any one of these on, pick a platform, institute any one, and it can make a humongous difference in the amount of engagement that you're receiving on that platform, and the ROI on your advertising dollar. Here's what I'm also going to say before I drill into Instagram. Each platform has its own type of culture. There's a social media culture inside of Instagram that is totally different from, say, LinkedIn. And the voice inside of Instagram is different from the voice inside of LinkedIn. So that when you are deciding which platform to use, you really, again, need to know your audience. You have to know your business. And then you adjust your social media to based on that platform. If I'm posting, if I have a client and that client is on Instagram and LinkedIn, unfortunately, sometimes you will have to create two totally different streams of content. The video that I use for Instagram is not going to work on LinkedIn. It just will not work. So understand that each social media platform has a specific voice and a specific culture. And if you're going to find success inside of all of the platforms, you have to make sure that your content speaks and is seamless into that culture and voice. I hope that makes sense. So Instagram, 1 billion monthly users. We call that MAUs. Instagram has 1 billion monthly users and 500 million daily users. Instagram is good for creative businesses and lifestyles, chef, clothing, beauty, weight loss, health and wellness, all of travel, lifestyle influencers. All of those find a lot of success on Instagram. And here's what I'll say. If you have a business and you are on Facebook and you are on Instagram and you're using these tips that I'm sharing with you tonight, you will make money. You will make money, okay? 1 billion people, surely you can find 0.1% of 1 billion to buy what you're selling, okay? So I'm going to share with you my tips for Instagram. Understand the value of saves. This is a key feature on Instagram that I don't believe a lot of people are aware of. But if someone sees your content and they save it, Instagram loves it. And they show your content even more, not only to that person, that customer, but to customers, other people on Instagram like that customer. So the more you can create content that people want to save, the better. I do it. I save a lot of workout tips and videos and things like that. So the more that you, now this really boils down to you creating content that's worthy to be saved, okay? Again, remember, Instagram is a visual platform. It started out as like an online photo album. So your content has to really be powerful to the eye. Keep that in mind. Videos on Instagram, 59 seconds or less. Okay. Experiment with content styles. A great segue when I'm talking about video. Don't always do pictures, create a puzzle. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll see that I do a couple of different styles. I like the puzzle type of Instagram post, and I also like to do traditional thirds, right? So experiment, find something that works for you, experiment with style, and also experiment with the type of content. Do video, do meme, do animated graphic. There are several really cool ways of creating some content that can capture the eye. All right. And the next is create your own Instagram TV series. Okay, this is fun. So, swipe up. Here are some websites that you can go to for really cool graphics. You can check out creativemarket.com, and of course I love graphicriver.net. I will put these links in the comment section below after the video. So graphicriver.net, creativemarket.com. You can find cool templates to help you create highlight icons and story graphics, so that when people swipe up to your Instagram TV series, they have something cool to kind of direct them. Okay, so create your own long form video series. This is the only place on Instagram where you can do a long video. And then collaborate with micro influencers, not just influencers, but micro influencers. This may be someone local in your area who has 10,000 plus users. Don't always try to target the celebrities and those with 50,000 and up. Someone who has 10,000 users is getting great engagement. You really just need someone who has more users than you do. Okay, partner, give them a discount on your services, send them a gift box. There are any number of ways to create great collaborations, okay, with those on Instagram. So those are my Instagram tips, right? Have fun, remember, socialize. Now we're going to go to LinkedIn, which is becoming one of my favorite platforms these days. So there are 740 members on LinkedIn. And get this, 55 million registered companies. So if you have, I call it a traditional business, financial services, lawyer, a chiropractor, I don't know, insurance services, HR company, anything like that, I feel like LinkedIn is key for you. Like, you have to be there. And then it's great for networking. 40% of LinkedIn users access LinkedIn on a daily basis. And so that means there are over 1 billion interactions on LinkedIn every month. So again, remember, if you have a business, you have to be on social media, period. Or if you're doing your business, you have a traditional business model, so be it. However, if you really want to make a name for yourself quick and you want to have a return on your investment quick, you have to be on social media. There's no way around it. So some LinkedIn tips. Post regularly. Don't post every other month, every 3 months, things like that. You have to make sure that, again, once you create an account, once people see you, once they see you're engaging on other accounts, they will expect to see you. There's just something that happens in the brain where we go, okay, that person is posting, I'm expecting now to see her post more often. Find a schedule that works for you and stick to it. Again, LinkedIn ads, you have to pay to play. That's all I'll say. You have to pay to play. So when it comes to LinkedIn ads, though, the rules have changed a bit. For starters, they are expensive. I'd say focus on Instagram and Facebook. If you're a business, however, again, in one of those traditional industries that I mentioned, LinkedIn ads will work really well for you. Just pay attention to your CPCs, your cost per click. Pay attention to the rate and the frequency of your ad, okay? And avoid hard selling on LinkedIn. We don't like that. That's what Facebook is for. That's what Instagram is for. Do not go into LinkedIn making hard sales. People will not, your reach will drop, okay, drastically. When you're on LinkedIn, again, keep it fun, create multimedia content, create, and what I enjoy on LinkedIn is that you can create an article, you can create a post, you can do video, you can do a video series like this inside of LinkedIn. Make it fun. Mix it up, okay, a little bit. Mix it up is what I want to say. Create multimedia, experiment, 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 test, 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 okay? Video is everything. If you are doing any type of social media marketing, you have to do video, period, pointblank.com. That's all there is to it. So create multimedia content in LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn, have some fun with it. All right, let me know how you feel about this. Going on to, again, LinkedIn is all about networking. Love it. Going on to Twitter, which is going to be our last platform that I address here tonight. Again, remember, all of these that I'm talking about tonight are, I feel, the most popular and have a different voice inside of each platform, have a different type of culture inside of each platform. Now, Twitter, I enjoy, but I will have to confess, it moves so fast. Like the conversations in Twitter change, it seems, every hour. And we already know that Twitter, I feel, is like today's newspaper. I feel like it's a newspaper. If you really want to know the latest, greatest news, go on Twitter and check out any influencer. Newspapers are there, TV stations are there, and we know that a lot of news actually breaks first on Twitter. So let me get to the numbers. 353 million monthly users on Twitter. Twitter now has a great revenue model. Last year, they brought in $3.72 billion. Can you imagine? And I remember when I first started on Twitter, it was nothing. In 2010, Twitter had 54 million. Can you imagine? Today, 353 million every single month. All right, so here are my tips for Twitter. Social listening. Sometimes you just need to go into Twitter and see what the issues are, see what's relevant, engage on your favorite influencers page. For me on Twitter, I'm really staying relevant by going to my influencers, liking, commenting, sharing. I retweet a lot. I do content. It really is about me just staying relevant. So, which is why social listening is so important on Twitter. So not only should you strive to understand what your audience thinks on Twitter, so you're listening to your influencers, but you're also seeing what your audience is saying and what they're up to. But you should also take the time to become a part of the conversation, like I said, in real time. The last thing you want is to be left out of meaningful conversations with both previous and current users. Look, if you're, for instance, in the beauty industry and your audience is talking about, I don't know, some chemical that is causing problems on the skin, or some company that is, you know, selling an off-brand chemical, then you want to make sure that you're involved in those conversations. And at the very least, you know what the pain points are for your audience. All right, so develop a clear brand voice. This is important on Twitter. Going back to what I said about each social media channel having a different voice and having a different culture. Twitter, man, if you are not clear, you can be all over the place, talking about fashion, talking about this, talking about that. Understand who your business is, understand your voice, understand your point, you know, understand your goal, understand your mission and your vision, and never stray away from that. You can have some fun with it, but never stray away. So how does this look? Are you casual? Are you serious, say in Facebook, but you're casual on Twitter? Are you funny? You know, are you more instructional? What are your strengths? and always speak to those. Experiment, if you will, on Twitter, but just remember, don't steer too far away. Don't steer at all away from your brand. I'll say that. All right, so run some polls. I like this on Twitter. I like this a lot. You know, it's an easy way to get some customer feedback, to get some audience feedback. And lastly, of course, here we are again, Twitter ads. Twitter ads. There are different types of Twitter ads. You can do promoted tweets, kind of like boosted posts on Facebook. You can do promoted accounts, and you can do promoted trends. All right, just a little bit about Twitter there. Again, Twitter all over the place, very cool to use. Again, you can be creative with your content, videos, memes, all kinds of things. And of course, you can use it for promotion. My last one here my last tip for all of these is to make sure you're optimized for mobile. Make sure your logo is optimized for mobile. Make sure your image, your social media profile image looks great on mobile. Make sure it's clear. No dogs, no cats, no things like that. Okay, in your social media profile. Make sure that it's crisp, it's clean, it's clear. And, you know, again, just make sure you're represented well. If someone picks up they find your account on their phone, make sure that it looks the same as it would as if they were looking at your profile on a desktop. All right. Woo, that was a lot of information. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to stop sharing. So that was a lot to get through. Just going to check to see if there are any questions. I will be back tomorrow night. We're going to continue this week the Kamala Code, again, promotion, poise, purpose. And tomorrow, I'm going to talk about presentation skills and just showing up, and how do you get past obstacles and barriers to really show up the way that's authentic to you, being true to you, not being a cookie cutter of anyone else. All right, that's tonight's day 2 branding bootcamp, the Kamala Code, my 17 tips for creating magic in social media. I am Theresa Campbell. You can find me at BNext Entertainment. And if you're ready for your business to be branded to a T, come see me. Again, BNext Entertainment. I really enjoyed it tonight. Have a fantastic evening. See you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific. Ciao. Bye-bye.